Now, I'm sure you're watching this video because you want to sound better when you speak English, right? Well, you're in the right place. I'm Emma from English, and in this lesson today, I'm going to show you how to sound more like a native English speaker. You might think that sounding like a native speaker in a foreign language is almost impossible. Sometimes it feels like that, right? You can study grammar and vocabulary. You can work really hard on prepositions and adjectives and verb tenses. And after all of that hard work, it's really frustrating when it's your pronunciation that lets you down, right? But the ultimate goal of learning another language is communication, right? To be able to communicate a message to someone else. And your pronunciation is the first impression that another person gets when they hear your English. Now, incredibly, good pronunciation can actually raise the level of your English. It can bring it up. Mistakes are easier to overlook or ignore if you sound good, if the listener can understand the words that you're saying and the message still gets across. But you know what that means, right? Poor pronunciation can actually bring the level of your English down. Because even if you're speaking perfect English grammar, your English level seems to be lower because the listener can't understand what you're saying. What is the point of perfect grammar then, right? Improving your pronunciation will help people to understand you and make communicating in English so much easier. To do it, it is going to take some practice, quite a bit of it. But with some dedication, some helpful tips, and space to practice, I'm confident that you're going to be able to do it. You'll improve your pronunciation. I'll give you the helpful tips and the space to do it, but you have to bring the dedication. You are the one who has to keep coming back, completing the challenges that I set for homework in every lesson, right? Keep coming back and keep practicing. In fact, prove that you are a dedicated student of mine and subscribe to the English channel right now, so at the very least I know that you'll be back here to practice with me every week, right? And if you're already a subscriber, let me know in the comments and say hi. I'm here today to give you the tools that you need to sound better in English. And I've got 5 tips that I want to share with you. But before we get into the lesson, I just want to take a quick moment to thank the sponsor of today's class, my amazing friends at Lingoda. Lingoda is an online language school. You might have heard of them. Just like any other regular language school, they have qualified native teachers and a huge list of different classes. More than 1,000, I think. And the classes relate to all of the different English skills that you need to develop. Reading, writing, listening, speaking. They even have specialties like business English. But instead of having to travel and physically attend classes at a time when the school decides they're going to put on a class, well, with Lingoda, everything happens online, like virtual classes, at any time of day or night. So you decide when it suits you to study and practice English. Now, there's 2 things that I love about Lingoda and why I think you should check them out. The first one is the size of their group classes. They're small. So instead of being in a room full of people, you're going to be getting personal attention. And you're always going to have a chance to practice. This is super important when you're developing your English skills, but particularly your speaking skills and your pronunciation, especially if you want to do it as quickly as possible. The other reason why I love Lingoda is that they genuinely care about their students, like at every step along the way. They're constantly introducing new features to their platform and thinking about how to help their students to enjoy the experience and improve their skills, but also do it at an affordable price, which is something that I really like. I've been taking Spanish classes with Lingoda this year. I think they also have German and French classes too. But as soon as I signed up, I got a free private lesson for an hour with a qualified native Spanish teacher. Mercedes, she was awesome. She gave me some hints on how to use the platform and recommended a few different classes that I should sign up for. So it was a great way to start. So guys, if you're thinking about taking your English to the next level this year, then have a look at Lingoda's classes. They've even offered English students a $50 or a €50 discount when they first purchase. Just make sure that you use the link in the description below and add my name, Emma, as the voucher code to get the discount at the checkout. Okay, I have to stop talking about Lingoda now. Got to get back to the lesson, but honestly, I can't recommend them more. Go and try them out and let me know what you think. All right, back to the 5 tips to help you sound better when you speak English. Now, tip number 1, choose your accent. Which English accent do you want? Now, if you know the answer to this question already, awesome. Tell me in the comments what's the accent that you want. But if you don't have an answer to this question right now, that's okay. We're going to work on it. Because normally I would tell you that it doesn't matter what English accent you use. Usually I'd say it's more important that you communicate clearly. Your accent doesn't matter. But if you want to improve your pronunciation as quickly and as efficiently as possible, at least have an idea about how you want to sound. Know what your goal is that you're working towards. Do you want an American accent or a British one? Do you want to sound like me? My accent's Australian. So between those accents, there's actually quite a few different pronunciation rules. Some sounds, and particularly vowel sounds, they're actually quite different when you compare these accents, right? So it gets a little confusing if you're trying to learn how to speak clearly. Some consonants and linking sounds, even syllable stress, can be different between accents. Now, if you're not sure exactly what linking sounds are or syllable stress, well, don't go anywhere because I'm going to talk about them a little later in this lesson. Now, it really doesn't matter what accent you choose, but knowing the accent that you're working towards will make things just a little less complicated while you practice your pronunciation. To improve how you sound, you need to be able to hear the difference between all of these different sounds first, right? If you can hear the difference, then you can practice it, right? And you can imitate it. So I want you to pick an accent. If you like my accent, that's great. If you don't, well, then you're crazy. Just kidding. If you want a different accent to mine, then you'll need to find someone with the accent that you want. Listen carefully to the sounds that they make. Spend some time each week training and practicing your pronunciation with that person. There are just so many different resources available to you online in the accent that you want to practice, right? Videos, songs, lessons. Just focus on the sounds that you need to hear. And just to be clear, this tip, this one here, is specifically for sounding better in English, for improving your pronunciation. Listening to a mix of accents is an absolute must. You can't just listen to one person or one teacher and then expect to go out in the world and understand everyone, right?